Uh, this, what I think would be the proper term to call it, the monster hunting. Nope, that's taken. Pokemon. The monster taming series, as I think around that line, monster taming, monster catching, however you want to call this. That's the type of genre I would say would collect all of these. And there's some others that are more popular, like Pal World, occasionally, all that stuff. Obviously, the most popular one is Pokemon right here. And I just want to kind of talk about these a little bit because these have been in a craze for a long time. I would say thanks to Pokemon Red and Blue. And that unleashed a whole storm of things from there on out. As we all know, Pokemon has this thing where they would at least release two separate games that are actually the same thing, but there's some minor tweaks, usually different Pokemon, maybe some character differences, other small things like that. But the main thing was you either gotta catch them all or train to be the very best, usually being the Pokemon gym and everything. And that right there has been a staple to the entire monster genre, as either just one of the goals, both of the goals, one or the other, or even a third goal that they just added in as their own separate thing. Either way, this has changed everything in terms of monster genre games. And I have my fair share of this. I mean, I have these, which are actually not mine. I need to get this back to a friend. But more importantly, I have my own Pokemon Diamond, and the latest one I picked Scarlet. I have some other ones like Pokemon White and all those. And obviously, I consider myself as a Pokemon fan. But I would think what makes it difficult in these type of games, specifically Pokemon, it's very difficult to actually get in because it's not. I would say Pokemon is the most. Pardon me, I might slander this. Might be the most basic of the monster genre. It's just kind of you catch Pokemon, collect a team of 6 or all, however you want to do it. You can play the game however you want. But at least base-wise, you usually beat the gym leaders and be the champion. At least Pokemon Scarlet and like even Pokemon White and White 2 have a whole story that you can complete. But for the most part, none of them really come with a story. Maybe snippets like at least Sapphire and Ruby. You gotta beat the Team Aqua, Team Magma team. And Diamond, you gotta beat Team Cyrus in order to unlock the final gym and all that mess. But they're always just, the story's always been just like, it's kind of there, but it's not the main focus. It's just to do like a little pizzazz. On a side note, then we got Digimon, which came around a little bit after Pokemon, at least game-wise. Digimon World 1, and then there's Digimon Next Order, which I did a whole video about already. And the difference here is they don't do the similar things like Pokemon does. Digimon actually more focuses like the Tamagotchi styles. And you kind of just train. On this one, you just train one Digimon and Digibot over and over again. And it has this like life or death cycle where you keep going over and over again, training a whole new Digimon. And the stats, if they survive and reach the end of their proper life, the stats will convert back into that Digimon, and your Digimon will slowly get stronger. A little same here, but you train 2 Digimon. But these games have always more focus on the actual story. This one is about trying to rebuild the village that you were stuck at in the digital world. While this one's to figure out, actually there's like 3 plots as a total. But anyway, you gotta rebuild a village that you were spawned in. Okay, here's that trend. As well as solve a small mystery of like the rampaging Machine Dramon, and sooner or later you'll end up in the main story of the game as you find out more problems that happen along the way. But that's essentially the case of the series. And Digimon itself has always been a bit different because they can't make up their goddamn mind. I'm not going to go too much in these because I already talked to them in depth, but the Digimon always changes their type of playstyle every time they make a new entry. And that's, from what I've seen, that's just something they like to do. They like to experiment every now and then. Sure, there's some formulas that actually work, even though these two are the only games that actually work the same. And as I'm ranting about this video, we're actually getting a new Digimon story game. So that's cool. We're probably never going to get a new Digimon Survive. I still think this game is neat. But I don't think a lot of people like visual novels, especially the Digimon fan base. But I have seen some people actually do like Digimon Survive. So, good for you. I'm happy with you. And I'm happy for me. I still actually enjoy this game. But it is going to take a while for me to actually go through. And then there's the people who just like killing monsters and wearing them. I didn't enjoy the Monster Hunter series. I kind of only owned this game because my friend didn't want to have it anymore. And he tried trading in it for like credit from like a local retro game store and a GameStop. and they weren't going to give him a lot. He was going, not even credit, he wanted actual cash, but they weren't going to give him a lot. So he just gave it to me for free, and yeah, I have it now, and maybe one day I'll try it. But I didn't like Monster Hunter World. I think Monster Hunter World is the better of than Rise. I might be wrong. I think that's just one of my friends' opinions, but I just didn't enjoy Monster Hunter at all. I do think the designs of the monsters, the armor, the weapons is really cool, but it's so goddamn grindy and repetitive. I don't like the battle system at all, and Jesus Christ, sometimes it's just very difficult to hit them. And I play games like Dark Souls where there is that little annoyance of like hitting a boss, especially a dragon. I just can't get into it. I also hate the chasing aspect. I get it, and it is immersive in its own way. I just don't like it, but I do recognize the fans of this game. I recognize how popular this series is, and maybe one day I'll give it another go. As of now, I'm just not a fan of Monster Hunter. Maybe I just need to be in a specific mood, because I really, really love the awesome designs of these creatures. And then my guilty pleasure. So I already talked about the whole edgy stuff line of the shooters line, and how most middle schoolers, intermediate schoolers. Sorry, I'm Texas. Intermediate school is a thing, and high schoolers always had to play like a shooter, or even though I didn't mention this, like sport games, whatever, something a bit more realistic. I still had this side of me. I had this phase where I really liked dinosaurs back in my 4th through 6th grade year, and I still do. I mean, I made a Tyrannomon deck for Digimon, for fuck's sake. But boy, was I happy whenever, during this phase, so happenly, around the same time, or if not a little after Pokemon Diamond was released, Fossil Fighters came out. This one was the original one. Let me put this to the side really quick. There, Fossil Fighters came out, and even though this game does not look great one bit, okay, maybe these visuals don't help out with it, and I probably will make a very bad looking edit of me trying to record the gameplay. This game doesn't look good, but it's goofy as hell, and I remember it had everything I actually wanted for a dinosaur game. What you do here is you, instead of catching said Venusaurs, that's what they call them, you dig them up and you train them. And in order to revive them, you need to get the head of the Venusaur. And now I always had this goofy idea, is like, if you only get the head, wouldn't they just be like boneless everywhere else? It was always weird, but you train them after then on, and the more of the fossils you get, the stronger the Venusaur gets, and the higher percentage it is, the true maximum potential you can get out of these Venusaurs. And this was one of the few games I was fine grinding, because I had the pleasure of like living out a kid's dream of digging up a dinosaur. That was already really cool. Only to have these Venusaurs, I always have these weird elemental abilities and all that, the goofy ass story that came along the way. This was just a very fun time. And then the sequel came out, and oh my god, it became 200% better. Now, this one was actually my younger brother's game, but we did a couple of trading between our DS games, and even though I owned the original Fossil Fighters, he owned Champions. After the trading, I get to own Champions now, and he still plays it every now and then when he's around. Now, take everything I said about this game, aside from maybe the goofiness, and put it in here, and it's just still great. If not, it is definitely better than the original one. Sorry for doing that, buddy. And yeah, I would say that I still have a playthrough going through it now. And there's even new Venusaurs to dig up. There's the ones I hate the most are the ones you have to flip the fossil rock over and over again. They even add some items, because the problem with this one is that you have a timer, and there was no way to extend the timer while you're digging. You can actually get an item that can extend the time for you. And oh my lord, that helps a lot. There's even like this little pressure point system where you can break the rocks in certain areas, and it'll take out a huge chunk of it. Some of them are really good, some of them are god-awful. And even now, this is one of the few games I'm still willing to grind for. Yeah, Monster Hunter, that's a whole grinding game, but I just don't enjoy it. This gives out the fantasy for kids like who love dinosaurs. Like, mommy, look, I just dig up a dinosaur. I mean, really, what kid who loves dinosaurs wouldn't love that? And I know there's a bit more out there, and I don't have those, so I can't really say those much, and I haven't even played those. These are the 4 I at least have of the genres that I at least have and played them, so I can actually talk about them a bit better. But I would say none of this would happen if it wasn't the popularity of Pokemon. And honestly, this got me through those times where the edgy times where I had to play shooters in order to be cool. I hate that. I hate that so much. Thanks to these series, specifically Fossil Fires, but even Pokemon helped. Monster Hunter is more of a new thing. Digimon actually is a new thing to me, kind of. I did somewhat grow up with it. And if it wasn't for these types of games, where would I be? Oh, thank God.